What's up, my bookish friends? It's me, Noah, and I'm going to talk to you about what I've been reading recently. For those of you who want a quick little novel update, I have been editing my paper copy and doing some writing in the actual computer copy, but not too much. I'm mostly just trying to figure out what I want to cut, move some sentences around, things like that. Um, but I have added some things, and mostly what I'm doing right now is just kind of going through the book and seeing where I want to add stuff. But anyways, that's not what this video is about. We're done talking about me. We're talking about books that I have read in the past like month or so. And let me tell you, y'all, I have been like crushing the books. So last year, I think I wrote or maybe read like a book every 2 months. Like, just reading wasn't super huge habit of mine, but now it is a huge habit of mine. And I'm going to talk to you about 4 books I've read since my last video, and I mean, I'm just so excited because they're all pretty much bangers. First off, we're talking about On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness by Andrew Peterson. This is book 1 of a series called the Wingfeather Saga. It's like a middle grade fantasy novel. It's what I think it's 80,000 words. Yeah, in my note, it's got 80,000 words. And when I started reading it, I wasn't quite sure what I was getting into because it was a lot of exposition up front. Andrew Peterson is long-winded, and there was a lot of exposition. What saved it for me, though, was how witty the narrator is. Throughout the whole time, he's cracking me up. So the exposition wasn't actually a slog to get through, and it really built out this world that these 3 kids, Janner, Tink, and Leli. These 3 kids go throughout the book, and basically, it's a normal fantasy novel where like there's some sort of big evil king off in the distance, and this it only gets through them leaving their own town. So there's like 4 other books, I think 3 other books, and I only have 2 of them, so I might have to check out the last one. But overall, it's a pretty awesome first entry. Also, Pete the Sock Man is the goated character. He's the best, number 1. Absolutely loved it. I did see the twist coming. There's a tiny twist in this book, and I did clock it from a mile away, but just because I didn't mean it still wasn't satisfactory when it finally came to light. So overall, it's definitely not a standalone, because I'm gonna have to read the rest of the series to get any sort of closure for this story, but I'm not opposed to doing that. I think it'll be fine. I enjoyed that one enough. But I'd probably put it like 7.5 to 8 out of 10. But it's pretty good, pretty solid. On to the next one. Boom! The Lost Story by Meg Schaefer. This is a story about a couple kids who get lost in the woods in West Virginia, and then they just reappear like 6 months later. Well, I'm not going to try and spoil the story, but it does have a lot of similarities to the Chronicles of Narnia, and this book is not afraid to reference it. They reference C.S. Lewis in Narnia. It's really, it's very referential in how it treats the world that it's building. I really enjoyed the characters of this book, and it kind of threw me through a loop. I did not realize, but yeah, halfway through it was a queer love story. I was like, oh, interesting. Alrighty. I haven't read a queer love story book before. I've read some romantasy, but this is the first queer one that I've ever read. And the fact that it takes place in West Virginia and things like that, it made me think a lot about, where I'm from and how especially queer people are treated around here. And that is a big theme of the book, where one of the characters has to deal with the fallout of being queer and with a family member. So minor spoilers there. But the only thing I think that it could have done slightly better was maybe a little bit more world building of the actual place where they go, like the Narnia-esque type place, because they kind of get around to that at the end, but at the end of the story, now the story's over. So I don't know. And they left it open for a sequel. But overall, I put this one like 9 out of 10. I liked it more than Edge of Dark Sea of Darkness, but yeah, I'd read it again. It was good, solid. On to the next one. Boom. This one is called Plum Island by Nelson DeMille. DeMille? I don't know. But this book absolutely friggin' slaps. It's a mystery adventure novel about Detective John Corey, who is a wounded cop. He gets shot, and he is on this island just big chilling, trying to get better from being shot. And the detective's like, hey, your friends across the street, they got murdered. Can you help me out? So he's like, oh, looks like I'm going out of retirement. And the people that get murdered work at Plum Island, which is a real place. And they do like work on viruses and things of that nature, mostly dealing with animals. And so they're nervous that the people who got murdered were selling like secrets about stuff like that. And it took a while for me to actually really get hooked in the book. But as soon as they get to Plum Island, which is like not maybe like 4 or 5 chapters in, I'm locked in. It was so interesting to read. It wasn't like a crazy twist at the end. You know, some mystery novels, you're like, oh, it was this person the whole time. It wasn't like that. We pretty much figured out exactly who did it. But it was a thriller. It was a ride. It was an adventure. I absolutely loved it. John Corey, the protagonist who the story is told through, is a bit of a butthole. He kind of sucks, but I love that about him. He's like endearing. He's an endearing son of a gun. He's one of those characters that you should hate him, but you actually love him. So, I mean, it was a really fun book. I'd say 9 out of 10. Definitely read that bad boy. And then the last book that I want to talk about is I read it on my phone from the Libby app. Shout out to Kana Library for giving me a library card. But I read ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses, and I freaking loved it. It was solid. It was solid. I don't think that, you know, Sarah J. Maas, it wasn't like some crazy awesome thing of literature. You know, it wasn't like Lord of the Rings or anything, but I was having fun the entire time I read it, and that's how you know it's a good book. I had a good time. Nothing in the first novel is too like sexually explicit. Not like Fourth Wing was. You know, that was, you know, something different. But is a retelling of like Beauty and the Beast, and I clocked that. I didn't even know that starting to read it, but then I was like, oh my gosh, this is just Beauty and the Beast. I love Beauty and the Beast, so that's probably another reason why I liked it. Do I think that I'm going to continue to read the whole series? I don't know, because I just don't want to commit so hard to reading all of them. However, I really did enjoy the first one. So, but the first one as a standalone is fine too. So it's pretty good. That's about all the you know, notes I have on that. I would say ACOTAR 8.5 out of 10. 8.5 out of 10. That's pretty good. So tell me in the comments what you've been reading, what I should read, and thank you for liking and subscribing and just big chilling with me. I appreciate you, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Keep turning those pages.